Hi YouTubers, Tricks of the Trade here, and what I have here is an exmark with a Kohler engine, CV23S, and it's Pro 23. Came in here with a hesitation on throttling, but also sometimes it wouldn't start. And what I found, when you turn the key on, it would this is the bottom of the carburetor, the fuel solenoid shut off, it would buzz. So sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. So sometimes it would plunge halfway and sometimes it wouldn't plunge at all. Hence the no start. So what you do when you turn your key on, it energizes the solenoid, which sucks that down and allows fuel into the jet. And when you shut the key off, it shuts it off and plunges and doesn't allow fuel into the jet, which shuts the engine off. And they call it an anti-backfire also solenoid that will shut it off so gas won't backfire or burn after you shut the ignition off. Now another bit of information on this one. The carburetor was replaced. To give you an idea, the fuel solenoid is like 200 some bucks from Kohler, and they found a Amazon carburetor for like 45 bucks with the fuel solenoid and some shutoffs, a fuel filter. I mean, they give you like everything. But the problem is, I'm going to post a video on after that carburetor was installed, it did not have an accelerator pump. Oh, well, why is Kohler expensive, you know, 300, 400 bucks and you get them on Amazon? Not the same thing, right? So this has your accelerator pump. When that carburetor is on and you engage your PTO, it will drop down. Governor picks it up, right? But it drops down low enough where it can't maintain the speed. So when that PTO engage, it does pick up, but then when you go in the cut grass, it slows the engine down, and you have to slow the exmark down to compensate to continue cutting. So the accelerator pump, the purpose of that is to kick in extra fuel as it's calling for it. So the governor does its job, pump does its job, and you don't lose any power. You can cut higher grass. So if you guys are running into that, you cheaped out and you bought the Amazon carburetor and you know it's not working the same, that's why. So typically you can rebuild this. Now what I'm going to try to do, which it might work, it might not, is instead of buying the $200, since they already bought the Amazon carb, instead of buying a $200 fuel solenoid, I'm going to take it off of that and install it and see what the difference is when I get the carburetor off. And what I'm going to show you here is how to take this off, because there's a trick to do it that usually takes probably about a half an hour. Makes it easier than taking a lot more off. I'll show you. Alright, so we're going to start here with the air filter. When I take everything off, there's a box behind me, and I just throw it in the box and it keeps everything together. Sometimes you get to finish the job and sometimes you don't. So and you can take this whole assembly and put it in your box. Okay, now what do we have here? We have two Phillips, we have 8mm, and then two 8mm on each side to hold the valve cover and the plate on. So we're going to get the Phillips, take these two off. And you can fast forward this if you want. I just go through the sections and everything I do so you guys can fast forward it. It just sucks when sometimes I watch videos and they have the guys take the stuff off and stop the video and put it back on and the work's already done. So you're like, well, how did you get it off? So there's an 8mm, then there's a 10mm behind it. Millimeter nut. I think this last one down at the bottom, I'm going to try to show you without taking off the stand. There's one down here that if you think you can get a swivel on it. Think you can get it out. Yeah, so this is it. Extension, swivel, 5/16 or 8mm. Can you still see that? Or did I move it? And you got this with plate. Okay, now this is the part that I wanted to show you guys. So this, some people will take the governor off, they'll take this whole setup off, they'll take that bar out. But what I usually do is there's a clip here, right? You pull that up, and you pull this out. So that's your throttle linkage, or your choke linkage, right? So you set that out of the way. Now look at this. This little piece comes out. A lot of times you won't take that out and you'll lose it. And you'll try to rig something up that's just not the same. So take that out regardless. And then we're going to have to take the fuel line off, which right here, and I did put a clamp on the back side, so you can get the clamps. Now when I say clamp, I'll show you in a second if I can get this off. Okay, and then the clamps are just like this. Clamp the fuel line so it won't come out. Even though it'll gravity, it's on the other side of the pump, but it will gravity feed out and keep kind of pouring fuel out. Alright, so this is what I'm going to show you. So you're going to go back into your box. You're going to find your two 10mm bolts, nuts that you took off for the studs. And you're going to turn this one this way. You thread it on maybe 3/4 of an inch. You take this one this way. And you're going to find your 10 millimeter or 10 millimeter socket with your 10 millimeter wrench. You're gonna just tighten it up. Give it a tweak. Put this in reverse. And you're going to pull the whole stud out. Stud comes out. Keep that on to install it. Put it in your box. And we got a Phillips with a ground strap on there. So we're going to take this off. Now we should have a throttle linkage below that to come off. Okay. Now, it's the same thing down here, but this one has a spring on it. So you want to get a pick in there. If you can. Pick that over and pull this out. Now that will come out too, so you want to maybe get that set up. So then this, your fuel solenoid wire, and you take it, twist it, slide it, and once you get to this point, slide that back up, slide this over and out. Pretty slick, right? So that's the setup, and we'll match this up. Original carb, other carb, right? Everything kind of looks the same. Oh, good, we got the same thing for a fraction of the price, right? Nope. There's your accelerator pump. There is no accelerator pump. So, alright, I'm going to make another video of me swapping the solenoid out, so stay tuned. I'm not sure how to link them, so hopefully you can just go and find it somehow. But if I find out how to link it, I'll link it. Alright, I will be back.